Hi guys, shaking in again. I thought I hadn't done a live on the hereditary of ET in my family, and unfortunately it is hereditary in my family. They say that in 50 to 60% of the cases ET is hereditary, where Parkinson isn't. So, you know, that's not the case with everyone, but with my family it is. Although it wasn't until I started shaking in that you guys taught me, the Facebook support groups and the IETF and the National and the NTF taught me that it can be hereditary, and then we connected all the dots. So I wanted to show you again. As I said, I've made this video once before, but it's been a while. So this is me here. I just scrubbed myself out. I have an older brother, a younger brother, and a younger sister. My older brother doesn't shake. My younger sister doesn't. My teenage brother, my younger brother does, but when I was a kid, I shook all my life, from what I remember. The only other person that shook when I was a kid was my nan, my dad's mother. But I thought she shook because she was old. Our family loved the movie On Golden Pond when we were kids. And in that movie, Katharine Hepburn has a central tremor in real life. And in that movie, you can see it. She has the big head tremor and the voice tremor, and she's yelling out, "Norman!" And it's Katharine Hepburn, Henry Fonda, and Jane Fonda in the movie. And it's a great movie, and we used to love it. And I thought Katharine shook because she was old, like my nan. So to me, my shakes weren't the same as Nan. Nan was never diagnosed. On my mum's side, my mum's great-grandmother was actually known as Shaky Nan by the grandkids and the great-grandkids, but they weren't game enough to call her that back in that day. She would have kicked their butt. So she shook. My nan didn't, but my nan's sister did. And my mum, when I was a teen, mum's always had the heavy, shaky riding. So I think she has had a central tremor. She does shake now. She says it's the medications, but even some friends of ours has said, your mum did have it. I remember when I was a teenager, Dad would shake when he would do fine motor skill, things like screwing in screws and things like that. And I remember as a teenager saying to him, "You shake like me," and he'd say, "No, I don't, no, I don't," and he'd pull his hands away, which is what we do a lot. My brother started shaking when he was in his teenage years, but he was going through a rough time at the time. Now, when I was a kid, because there were 4 siblings, we were always at the doctor's, and no doctor ever asked why I shook. So as a kid, I remember thinking it was my karma. I remember thinking that I'm shaking today because I took that 20 cents off the bench last week and I shouldn't have, and now I'm really nervous about it. You know, things like that. I'm shaking because, I smacked my sister before, or I'm waiting to get in trouble about it. I always thought it was a karma thing when I was a kid, like I'd caused myself to shake. So when my brother got it in his teenage years, he was going through a bad stage. So straight away I thought, oh, well, it's what you've done or what you're doing. I didn't connect that he shook like me, and none of us did. My older brother has a son and 2 daughters. None of them shake. My younger sister has a son and a daughter. They don't shake. My brother, in his late 40s, is about to have his first child. So we'll wait and see. All 4 of my kids shake, have ET. They got it in their teenage years. And once again, I remember them coming home from school and saying, oh, Mum, I've got your shakes. I was doing something today and I'd started shaking, and I'd think, oh, yeah, what have you done? Because that's what I always thought. It wasn't until I was 27 that a doctor, I went to a neurologist for something else, and that doctor said to me, why do you shake? And she was the first doctor ever in my life to say that. And I said, I don't know, I've always shook, I'm just a nervous person. So she sent me for some tests, and when I went back to see her, she said, you have essential tremor. It's where your body finds it essential to tremor. How do you live with it? And I said, I just live with it. It's a normal way of life to me. I've never known a day without it. She said, well, good, just keep living with it. She said, there are meds that I can give you, but they're not for ET. There's no cure. You're just going to have to live with it. How are you with alcohol? And I said, alcohol does slow it down. And she said, well, it's definitely ET. That's the only one that alcohol affects. So it's definitely ET. Have a drink every day. I said, I can't do that. I've got young kids. So even though she told me that, she didn't say it was hereditary. So when my kids came home, I thought, oh, you poor buggers, you'll be right. Like, I live with it. It's okay. That's how we live with it. But now I have grandkids. A boy, a girl, another boy, and another boy on the way in August. Renee and Harvey are out of hospital. He still has a lot of tests to do. They found a couple of little more things, but he's just smiles. So's Renee. They're both so strong. I'm so proud of them. And once again, thank you all for your prayers, and I will keep you in touch. So I don't want my grandkids to get it. I want to find this cure now. Now that I know it is hereditary and it's come down both sides of our family, it's more than likely it's going to continue on, and I don't want my grandkids to get it. Even though Lucas and Bronte now, they want to be known as Shaky Bronte and Shaky Lucas. God love them. They think it's cool. They want to shake like me. But I don't want them to. I want to find that cure, and that's what I'm doing this for. So, guys, I hope that helped show the line in our family. Like I said, you know, it wasn't until you guys taught me it was hereditary. We were all different stages in life and all at different times. So, and no one was diagnosed. My dad has just recently been diagnosed, but even down here, my mum isn't diagnosed, my brother isn't diagnosed, my kids aren't diagnosed. I am, but I don't know if it's on my records now. As I've told you before, the doctors that diagnosed me have passed away now or have stopped practicing. So I don't know if it's on any records anywhere. But that shows you how many people, we know how many people are diagnosed, how many people aren't. All right, guys, love you all. I hope that was an interesting one. Take care, stay safe, have a great shaky weekend, and I will see you all on Tuesday. Bye, guys. Oh, now I've got to press this bloody button. I've got to find a bigger machine. Bye, guys.